In the fictionalized Hosan-era royal court of the East Palace, the architecture is flawless. Every gilded surface and perfectly manicured courtyard projects an image of absolute order and pristine splendor. Beneath that flawless exterior, a horrific crisis is quietly tearing the royal family apart. The crown princes are dying, picked off one by one in gruesome, entirely incomprehensible ways. At the center of this nightmare is the king, played by Cho Sang-woo. He holds absolute political authority over the living, yet that power is useless against an ancient, evil threat that refuses to play by the rules of politics. To save his last remaining son, a monarch obsessed with control must admit powerlessness. He is forced to look past his own royal guards and summon outside help. That help arrives in the form of two marginalized figures, people whose unique abilities trap them in the terrifying space between the living world and the realm of the dead. Nam Joo-hyuk plays Gu-chin, a sarcastic, emotionally detached ghost slayer. A severe trauma in his past left him with a terrifying method of investigation. He forces himself into near-death experiences to physically cross over into the spirit realm. He is paired with Sang-gang, portrayed by Ro Yoon-so. She is a fiercely stubborn court lady, carrying her own tragic history, armed with the rare ability to hear and communicate with the deceased. Their partnership starts in open hostility, but by combining his physical incursions and her auditory clues, they pry open the damning secrets buried deep inside the royal family. The investigation itself relies on a striking visual contrast. When crossing the veil into the spirit realm, known as the realm of Gui, the pristine palace vanishes into a suffocating blood-red aesthetic. Gathering clues in this hostile environment exacts a severe physical toll. Every piece of evidence Gu-chun secures requires him to push his own body to the absolute brink of death. Meanwhile, back in the physical world, Sang-gang navigates the whispers of the deceased. They take these fractured, terrifying fragments from both sides of the veil and stitch them together to form a coherent picture. The East Palace treats supernatural investigation as a grueling forensic process, requiring the interrogation of traumatic evidence rather than simple combat. Yet returning to the land of the living offers zero safety. The royal institution actively obstructs their investigation, fighting violently to maintain its tranquil illusion. The mystery quickly becomes deeply political. The investigators realize the king is complicit in a system built on horrific lies, while the Queen Dowager harbors a lethal hidden menace of her own. Then the story tightens the screws. As Gu-cheon and Sang-gang dig closer to the origin of the curse, they discover that the royal family's oldest secrets intersect directly with their own devastating personal histories. That shared trauma bonds them. Forced to rely on each other to survive both ghosts and politicians, their hostile alliance slowly evolves into a deep, genuine romance. The terrifying Wangui spirits are only the visible symptoms of the true danger, a political machine willing to murder its own citizens to keep its historical sins buried. To understand the origin of the ancient evil, look at this animated family tree. We start with a single ancestor, but as time moves downward, succeeding generations turn a corrupted red. These represent the Wangui spirits, physical manifestations of delayed justice. Passing down violent secrets in silence functioned as a haunting that eventually shattered the entire family structure. That is the core argument of the series. Unresolved griefs in systemic crimes do not naturally fade away over time. They compound, mutate, and eventually erupt into inescapable horror. This perfectly suited the show's real-world release strategy. Netflix dropped all 8 episodes globally at once, optimizing the series for an obsessive binge watch. The response was explosive. Critics immediately praised the cinematic, film-like visuals, while the heartbreaking finale sparked massive viral discussion across social media within hours of the premiere. The series resonated because it tapped into a universal truth about power. It proved that gilded surfaces often hide something rotting underneath. The East Palace leaves its audience with a definitive warning. You can build the most splendid, secure fortress in the world, but if the foundation is built on unchecked power, The dead will eventually break down the doors to demand a hearing.